Welcome back to another episode of NuCanoe Customs Setup of the Week. Today we're going to take a look at an F10 with a bow mount motor set up for fishing. This is a really sweet setup for ponds, lakes, smaller bodies of water, even rivers. And it really builds on the strengths of the F10, which is that it's a stable, compact, lightweight fishing machine. Easy to handle off the water, easy to throw in the back of a pickup or on top of a car. Now the downside with the smaller fishing kayak like the F10 is that it's not very fast and the tracking isn't great. But once you put a bow mount motor on, those two things are out of the window. You got good speed and this is going to go exactly where you want it to go. So it's an awesome setup. It also, with that weight up in the bow, it allows you to put the seat all the way back, opening up your deck space, giving you more room to work, more room for accessories, and really maximizing every inch on that 10-foot kayak. So let's go take a closer look of what makes this a super setup for your F10. All right, starting at the bow, we have the MotorGuide Xi3 bow mount trolling motor, 55-pound thrust, originally 48-inch shaft. It's been trimmed down to about 34 inches, which you can do on your own, or you can get it that way through some MotorGuide dealers. It's a great setup for the kayak. The Xi3 is a little bit smaller in the frame and a little bit lighter than the Xi5, but everything else is about the same. You got a lot of power. You have the GPS controls on this motor, so heading lock, spot lock, map your points, even integrate with your fish finder. So it's a great fishing solution as well as a way to get around out on the water. You got the remote control for operating it, so you know really you're good to go. It's an awesome setup. Only requires the NuCanoe bow mount for the F10 that gets installed on the kayak, and then with the quick disconnect bracket for MotorGuide, can lift that motor right on and off. Easy to retract as well if you need to get that motor up out of the water. So that's the bow mount motor. We've got our battery box right back here. Now we have both these things up in the bow to really add the bow weight so that we can have our seat all the way in the back. The other option you have with that battery, if you prefer, is to use the motor wiring kit and have the motor at in the back behind the seat. Either way, it's a good setup. All right, then next up we got the dashboard. Dashboard's a great just gear management mounting solution, all inclusive. So at the end of the day, that whole unit can lift out with everything connected to it. Now on the dashboard, we have an Omega Pro rod holder. We have the Lowrance Hook 7 fish finder display, and we have a switch blade for mounting the transducer over the gunnel. So really nice setup. There's even more slots there if you have other gear you want to add to that. It can adjust forward and back in the track. And like I said, at the end of the day, loosen two knobs, lift it out, and you're easy, easy off the water. Taking advantage of the deck pads to just drop in a little tackle box underneath that. Something right in front of you, easy to grab. Kind of nice and nestled up in there so it can't really get away from you. Working our way back, we got the 360 pinnacle seat. Now the way this is set up, we've kind of got it the seat position so you get about 45-degree rotation before we hit the milk crate in the back. And that's really all you need to be able to access those rods, access your tackle that's in the milk crate, and really cast to a 180 degrees, on any side, any way on that one side of the F10. So the seat's set up in the high position. You can get even higher with the lift kit. You can also add a locking swivel or a quick release bracket to that seat to add more functionality. And then last, back in the back, got just enough space here for our milk crate. That's where we're going to put all our tackle boxes, additional gear we want for storage. And then we have the two Omega Pro rod holders on the side for our other rods. So that's what we have here on this F10 setup. As you see, we got power, we got all our gear, we got extra storage, a nice clean open deck. So you can definitely stand up out on the water while you're fishing. You can be hands-free, essentially hands-free, using your fingers to control that remote and get yourself around. And it's just a really nice setup for smaller water, for lakes. And then when you get off the water, lift off the motor, lift out the dashboard, lift out the battery, lift out your milk crate, and then you're left with a 62-pound kayak that's easy to lift up, car top, put in the back of a pickup. So with this setup, you get really the best of both worlds. You get a stable fishing kayak, you get great power, and you get something that off the water is not going to be big, heavy, or difficult to get around. So it's a great setup. Check out more setups at NuCanoe.com and go find a NuCanoe dealer near you to take a look in person at one of our great kayaks.